underdressed.
Hey everyone, it's the RC Groups podcast. Maybe I went early with my Christmas shirt. Hold on, I'm gonna stand up so you can read it here, Matt Gunn.
Yeah, that's
busting my nuts.
beautiful, man. Check your mic. Check your mic. It's off.
Oh,
I can hear it this time.
check.
No.
Yep, I got you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, his one mic's on. The good mic is off.
I have an explanation.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're good.
No, we got nothing, man. I mean, it's your computer one.
Okay. Check.
And we'll just keep rolling, and then you can fix it when we start gabbing.
Save.
Ooh, that sounded.
Test 1, 2, 3.
There you go. That's a buttery smooth voice right there.
All right.
Technical difficulties.
Oh, yeah, buttery smooth. I've got a couple of things.
Okay. First of all, everyone, Christmas. It is December. A couple of things just happened. Live viewers are popping in. Awesome. First of all, Matt Gunn, what happened on the 30th? That's well, you don't watch Vikings, but Vikings came on, so that's awesome.
I thought you were going to say about our Hornet contest that just wrapped up.
You're getting way too into the podcast. We're just warming the podcast up. It's like a motorcycle. You got to let that thing idle for a minute, and then we'll get it up to 60 miles an hour. I got my birthday happened on the 26th that we missed because it was Thanksgiving right then. But I got
the 18th birthday.
Thank you. Finally can drink. Chris Hos, check out my mug I got.
Dude.
What?
Nice.
That's awesome. I've been hiding it for a week, Matt, so no one see it until the podcast.
Oh, that is beautimous.
And my son keeps running in here grabbing it, and I'm like, please don't break the mug until Thursday. After Thursday, you can break.
That's good. That's a good timetable for that beauty thing. Now, is that glass out? Is it all black or is it change color? Look at that, dude. What are you drinking? Eggnog? Are you drinking eggnog, Jim?
I drink eggnog all day, every day. I thought you knew that.
Really? Is that an eggnog?
No, that's coffee with whipped cream, just a little dab.
Oh, Lord.
A dab that looks kind of like half the cup there, Jim.
Well, at first I was like, I didn't put enough in, but now it looks really good.
Nice. Well, hey, look who we got. We got Chris Hos on board. Let's go ahead and say hey to our good friend, Chris Hos, who has been on the live broadcast before at XFC. You kind of jumped in and did some crazy stuff. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm recovering today, man. It's been hectic.
Well,
I bring this up a lot, Chris, whenever we're interviewing you. But I knew your dad back in the olden days.
Oh yeah.
And Hobby Lobby days.
Oh yeah, you've known me back when I don't want people to remember who I was.
I remember the first time I met you, which I believe was at Toledo, and I shook your hand, and you were a little kid.
Yep.
And now you're not. How old are you now? I'm going to guess 24 years old.
Boom.
Wow.
Right there on the head.
Damn, all right.
That's pretty good, Jim.
Matt Gunn, how about you? How long have you known Mr. Hos?
Not as long as you. I think I met Chris when I started at wonderful RCGroups.com. So I think I met you maybe at one of the first fly-ins I went to. So it had to have been, we're going on like 4 years, I'd say 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
That's about it. I mean, I knew who you were, and I just never like actually shook your hand and shot the caca with you, so to speak.
Okay. So for those of you who don't know who Chris is, Chris, let's talk about what you started flying. Now, your dad was a reviewer for magazines and things like that, so I'm sure there were always RC products in the house. What was the first thing you got into?
Well, my first airplane was actually a Hangar 9 Easy Trainer 40. Built that when I was 4 years old with my dad. As a 4-year-old, there weren't simulators, there weren't, video games back in the late 90s, like there are now. So I really wasn't that into flying back then. I went to the field all the time with my dad, but I was usually off playing with the other kids that were out there at the time.
It's amazing you made it through the RC Kid period because most kids of RC pilots refuse to fly RC.
Yep.
Yeah, the funny thing is my dad knew I loved RC cars back in the day, and so he actually bribed me with a glow RC car to get me to learn how to fly, and he taught me on a Model Tech Magic, which we still have.
Oh, that's cool.
I soloed on that airplane, and because of that, I began this fascination with aerobatics. And so I soloed when I was 10. And then it wasn't until 2006, 2007 when I started flying giant scale airplanes. And 2008 began IMAC and started down freestyle, then to XFC, IMAC, NATS, ETOC. You know, I tried to do as much of it as I could.
So, you know, basically because of your dad, and then based on all the competitions you entered during that time frame, you currently know all the major pilots that are on the circuit today because you're on the circuit, right?
Yep. As far as the airplane circuit, as of kind of this year, I was a little absent from it. Basically did XFC and did rather well at XFC this year, which I was very happy about.
I remember that.
But I got into the FPV quads pretty heavily. I went from like one quad and it was sort of something fun to 4 quads, and I just picked up more motors and I'm going to Florida for a race, and oh dear.
So that's yeah, go ahead, Jim.
I know that we have viewers that are fully quad enabled, and then I also know there are people out there who would prefer not to talk about quads 100% of the time. But I think what's interesting is you're a hardcore 3D Joe Knoll pilot, you know, out there ripping it up on the grass with the best of them, Tavis and all those guys. And I would love to know how you transitioned from going from a giant scale 3D pilot to I'm in love with quads.
Really, it was watching people like Steele Davis, Chad Nowak, Funglass, Schizo, Jonathan Davis, guys, and watching how they made a quad flight look like a flowing freestyle flight from the airplane world. And when I saw how they were combining, you know, crazy acrobatics of the quad and how it was just floating and doing crazy things upside down, and then flying terrain and areas and buildings that were, and getting shots of them that you just couldn't even imagine. And then it just kind of got me hooked. And then basically right after XFC this year was kind of this turning point when, like, the amount of time and energy I had to go take the 35% out versus the amount of fun I was having flying the quads started to weigh more towards the quads, because I could just go out and do it and meet up with other guys in the park and just go fly. And then after a little while, some of the guys were like, dude, you're really good at this. Why aren't you filming it? I'm like, no, it's you know, I'm just another guy flying quads. No big deal.
Yeah, you say that, dude, but you're ripping it up, man. Like, for instance, I'm going to go ahead and share screen here and let you keep talking. So let's do a screen share, full screen.
I was wondering if we were going to get a video of what you were talking about.
Here we go. I got one.
Matt Gunn's on the money.
Oh dear.
So I'm going to put this on mute. Can you guys see my screen?
You can see through some of this. This is the vlog. You skip ahead to like to the middle or end of it. Get some of the good flying stuff in.
Oh man, I want to see you drive. This is good stuff.
God.
So
what kind of car you got there?
Mazda 3 hatchback, man. Fit that 35% in there.
Hold on, I'm turning one side off and going into this one. Here we go. It was playing in the background. I apologize. Okay, so look at you with your new props.
What? That's right.
All right, so
what is he saying there?
I don't know. I don't
do it, Matt Gunn.
Can you hear what's this right now?
Cyclone playing in the background.
Can you hear that?
No,
I can't hear it.
But I can tell that you're growing your beard for Movember.
All right, I'm just gonna mute it so I can hear you guys. Uh-oh, you let some random stranger in your car. You picking up strangers on the side of the road. There you go.
Oh, you gotta.
Yo,
That's
dude,
Jeff Wood, another
what's up?
major FPV pilot here from Michigan.
Matt, you be Chris. I'll be that guy. So, dude, what's happening? It's very bright.
I'm just driving my car, and then we're gonna go fly some. The other day I was flying, and I was driving, and I was flying.
I was flying too, though, man. I was
can't do
like
this.
this. It was like that, and it's like a dream sequence, man.
So, Chris, I noticed that you had said that it's a lot easier to do this right now than it is to get that gigantic plane of yours in a car and go to a field. Now you can just go to these really cool sites that you end up at, which we're going to see. Some of these abandoned buildings and stuff like that. And then you're just, literally banging through open floors and coming out the other end. There's spray paint everywhere. Is it sketchy in any of these places like this you're going to right now?
You're going to get robbed, homeless people?
Do you feel like it's sketchy going into some of these places? And I assume this is much more fun and adrenaline based than just going to a field.
Well, this particular place, no. This is in Bloomfield Hills in Michigan. So this is in it's kind of in an odd place in the state of Michigan. It's surrounded by people. There's people everywhere, but it's just far enough off the main road that
tetanus shot just looking at it.
We can just kind of go through here.
It's not like you're in Chicago.
No, but we do fly in some of the places in Detroit that are not quite as safe, for sure. Definitely not places you go by yourself.
Right. Or unarmed.
Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not gonna lie.
So you do a lot of. I notice more than other pilots, you do a lot of freestyle. On your aileron axis when you're and moving around, instead of banging through something and flipping, you do a lot of this really cool snap and then expo it out slow motion stuff that translates to you doing those aileron rolls on your fixed wing. You know how when you snap really hard with a fixed wing and then you bring it to a stop slowly. I've noticed you do that. Translates exactly over to this style of flying for you. I've watched that from the get-go, but I've never seen somebody I've seen a lot of this stuff, but man, you can really make this quad do things that I've never even thought imaginable.
The two people that I really have actually gotten most of this flowing poppy backwards, I don't even know what the heck is actually happening. I just kind of do it and make it through. I hit a wire there. Is Nick Willard and Johnny Shear, Willard FPV and Johnny FPV. Both of those guys have crazy flow, and I'm trying to match what they can do. I'm always every time I see one of them fly, I'm usually like, okay, how are they maneuvering that quad to do that? And it's honestly like when I was younger, watching guys like Jason Knoll and Mark Leesburg and TK Salmanzini when they were flying in, let's see, TOC, XFC, the Tucson shootout. I was watching how they did maneuvers, and I'm doing the same thing with the top guys in the quad world now.
You are ripping this little section to pieces. Look at this.
So let me ask you this: are you going to take this and do something with it, or are you going to just keep it as your own and enjoy it?
I'm posting the vlogs about on a weekly basis at this point. I'm currently uploading a new one for my latest adventures. I see this as the new thing in the hobby as far as RC. I've done a lot with the airplanes. I don't see much growth with the airplanes anymore, sadly.
Yeah, it is sadly but true.
It's it's sad but true. So I decided kind of this year when I got hooked to this, this is the newest thing. This is where the interest is at, viewership wise, which means that's where some money's going to be in. So, I love doing this hobby. I love getting people involved. This year alone, I got my buddy Mike. involved in this so bad. He now has 4 FPV quads and goes flying every day, calls almost every day to talk about quads. And this is a guy that a year ago was like, yeah, these quads are okay. And we're now getting another one of our friends hooked into this. I'm getting some of the guys from the airplane world into this, like Ryan Clark, who's a local to me. He was hitting me up like, hey, I see your videos. They look pretty cool. I want to try it. And now he's as hooked as anyone else. It's just so cool that I can turn my backyard into a playground.
Yeah.
Just like that.
That's the thing that turned me on immediately is I don't have to get up and leave and say to my wife, I'm leaving. I can walk in the backyard, sit on the picnic bench, and go to town.
Yes, I love that until you want to start going to cool places and then you're there for 6 hours on a Sunday after a busy holiday weekend. And sorry, Samantha, but everyone's going out and it's a beautiful weather in the end of November. And I'm a drug addict for flying quadcopters. Like, I can't help it. It's like beautiful weather, must fly quads.
So have you been watching the DRL series on ESPN2 on Sunday nights?
I don't have cable. I just have internet, so no ESPN for me. But I was fortunate enough to be actually at the filming of the Detroit series and got to see one of the days of that live, which was impressive. It was a very cool course that they had set up there. Very cool what they're really doing with quad racing. It's one of the best ways to actually turn it into a visual sport while actually making the racing real.
It's just mind blowing to turn the TV on and there's our hobby. You know, that's never really happened before.
Yeah. No, but the thing is they did a lot of work in building the right quad that flies in a particular way that is also limited in its flying abilities in particular ways. I mean, it's not like these guys can take the quad and tweak it and tune it and make it their own. No, you get a quad and you get a couple of rates. Fly it, and that's your
an IMAC quad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not even an IMAC quad because you can tune an IMAC airplane how you want. I mean, you get an 18MZ, you can program that sucker to fly on rails. Whereas these things are like stock cars. They're very limited in their differences.
It's all about your fingers.
It's really all about the pilot. And that's really cool. I would love to be able to get involved with that. But,
I think you're on the way, dude. But
okay. Hey, we have some questions from the live viewing audience. I wanted to address some of them because they're good questions. One is, where's Jason Cole? Jason's on an extended haircut. He's been getting this haircut for 2 days now. I don't know when Jason went on vacation with his wife to Disney World's in Florida, and I'm pretty sure that's where he went. And so he's in Disney right now. I kind of expected him to say, hey, put me on the podcast or the video cast, because he usually does that, but I haven't seen that pop up. Also, what happened to last week's? Last week's fell on Thanksgiving, and what with being married with families, we thought it wisest to not do a podcast on Thanksgiving Day. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Very smart.
Life is happy when the wife is happy. And one more thing no one asked about here is, tell us about your favorite quadcopter that you're flying.
Well, I have it right here. It's actually the Space One 220X. Honestly, my buddy picked one of these up as a cheap quad we found, and I flew it and went, wow, that flies really well. I'm gonna get one.
That goes against all conventions.
And then I'm probably going to order 2 more after last week's incident with the top of a hotel and still having a flying quad.
Well, that's always my question when you're flying in places like that. Aren't you just bashing the crap out of your unit like all the time?
Well, if you saw all of the footage that comes from a place like this, the first couple of flights are usually sketchy at best, because I'm trying to figure the place out. I'm trying to get the nerves out. Usually you need to get one or two bumps and grinds out of the way.
Right.
Usually not 400 feet onto concrete. Usually just kind of like bounce into something and hey, maybe change a prop or two. But that kind of gets you calmed down and gets you relaxed. And then, yes, at other times I've started with 3 quads and went home with none.
Right.
I'm rebuilding 3 quads when I get home. So
I got a question for you. Jim T was onto this, and I think this is a really good idea for changing it up a bit. You ever thought about putting a camera, maybe even on a pan and tilt, in the cockpit area of a 3D plane, an electric 3D plane, and trying to, fly it out, man, do some cool knife edge and stuff like that?
yes, I've had the thought. I really wanted to do it with the 35%, but actually set it up to where it would be, where it would be on to do kind of like a Red Bull air race kind of idea where you can get a shot from the cockpit and you can look up and see the airplane type idea. But flying like a 35% size airplane, no.
Too much money to be in the goggles.
I recover my 35%ers because I like having my own scheme and everything. So that's a lot of work that I don't want to lose.
All right. So say you use like a PA Diction or an Extreme Flight, something small, some sort of little 60-inch electric bird.
That definitely sounds like a fun idea, but the unfortunate part is the learning curve on that means I got to keep rebuilding an airplane. Whereas it's a lot easier for me to fix.
We don't crash that much with our airplanes. We don't do hardcore 3D, but we fly under and around things, and we don't really.
You don't have to go neck deep your first flight, Chris.
Yeah, just some knife edge, inverted.
I just want to see you do an outside knife edge.
I mean, I've done a bit of FPV airplane stuff at XFC. I've done a bit of it on my own. I do have, actually, I turned well, Jim, you'll remember this airplane, a Razor 400 Zaggy.
Yeah.
I turned that into an FPV airplane. And I mean, I've flown around. It's fun. I'd like to get one of those little nano sky hunters like what you have behind you there, Jim, and fly one of those around. But it's probably going to end up being a foam airplane because I don't feel like rebuilding balsa wood over and over again. Like that's just no fun.
So you see that one right behind me right here, the West Michigan Park Flyer. I had a camera on this one, and I remember being at E-Fest. You were there, but I would go and just hold a knife edge and then just fly the whole thing in a knife edge outside, and then flip it over and go in. And man, it's the coolest feeling just to be staying sideways and still trying to navigate around. That was my little zen moment, I guess.
I picked up actually a West Michigan Park Flyers Mako that I'm planning on FPVing, so that should be fun for some entertaining shenanigans.
Yeah, and it's going to snow soon, so there you go.
There you go. Because the quads don't do well with snow.
Jim, what you got?
Let's talk about this. Is from E Sheen. It's the Micro Sky Hunter, and
nice stickers.
Thank you, man. We already did the review on this, so the review is up, and I had this unit in. So this ships with a 25 milliwatt camera, which is actually bigger than that camera. This is a 200 milliwatt camera. And
dang, dude, they pack it in there, don't they?
Yeah, so like this deck comes off, so you can put like a full-size cam on there. But this thing was so tiny, I just zip tied it to the top deck, and so the only thing, Chris, I'm not excited about, I'm excited to have a little airplane like this. I could literally take it anywhere. I'm having magnet trouble right now.
Take the magnets off. Lose the magnets right off the bat, dude. You're going to end up, they have too much radiation thingy, whatever.
What do I replace it with? A strap?
Yeah, just tape it down or Velcro or something. But those magnets are pretty bad near that equipment.
Well, I've been trying to, that's why I didn't get out today, because I was trying to get that magnet working before I got in the air,
You are having magnets.
So anyway, this thing comes basically ready to fly. I use foam tack on this, Matt. Some folks said they didn't think it was good, but I couldn't.
That's all I build with is foam tack now.
Why on earth? Yeah, what's your cat's name, Chris?
Steven. Would you like to meet him? I can drag him.
Steven? His name is Steven.
I thought it was Felipe.
Maybe it should be Gregory or.
Oh, he dipped out. Where's
gone.
that? All right, we'll come back to him. He's grabbing the cat.
So anyway, this thing's pretty cool, and I'm excited to fly. I wanted to talk about what I did here. Okay, let's cut back to the cat.
All right, we're cutting to the cat. Let's cut to the cat here. Hi, everybody. I'm Steven the cat.
I know how to say I'm hungry and cat.
That was pretty good.
My cat, every morning he looks at me and he goes, it means feed me.
You see, that cat was, you didn't know, or maybe you did, but that cat was like literally behind you while you were talking.
Oh, yeah.
The whole time.
That's normal.
Yeah. Is he cross-eyed, dude?
Well, when I did that, yeah.
All right, you hold your cat like a baby, and back to you, Jim.
So one thing I did do, the interesting thing about this is it runs on the same packs as my quadcopters.
Yep.
And they want to live farther back. And I do have Velcro there, but what I did is I took the foam that camera came in and I cut it to mimic the front end of the plane.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty smart.
So that just keeps it back there. And then I'm running the camera off a 1-cell Andromeda battery.
So the reason you're doing that is solely for added weight in the nose, right?
Well, it needed a little weight. And I'm trying to keep the camera off the same battery line as the power system,
Yeah.
Plus, this camera, everyone, is only rated up to like 5 amps, so you have to run it on a 1-cell. You can't just plug it into your 3-cell.
Oh yeah, obvious. Oh, you're right. I apologize.
Come on, it's not that hard.
You could, yeah. I've already smoked my favorite cam doing that by accident. I plugged it in. I never got that thing back either. So anyway, this is the micro. It's nice and little. You can throw it in your car. Matt Gunn has experience. Matt, why don't you pull yours out?
Easy. Let me go grab it real quick.
And I have another cool thing. What kind of goggles do you use, Chris?
The Dominator HD V2s with the Furious True D diversity.
All right. It's got to be Furious. All right. Switching over to Matt Gunn here.
I got it. All right. Thanks. Yeah. Here's mine. Mine's the ready-made RC version in black, and I have the 800 TVL Eagle on the front from RunCam. Before that, I had the Swift on it, and then between the Swift and the Eagle, I had the Owl 2 for night flying, which is incredible. So this guy's got 433 long range over here, Dragon Link. It's got the copter on the bottom. See it? So that's just the little copter antenna, or excuse me, the receiver. And over here is a Cricket 600 milliwatt. Everything's embedded out on the wings. So this thing is like a permanent wing mount. It is just the biggest wiring mess if you try to pull this apart, because I've got the micro Vector in there.
Speaking of which, I saw an email today from Vector about the micro.
Yeah, they just went live with it, didn't they? Eagle Tree went live with it?
I don't think they even need to ship at this point, based on some discussion I had earlier in the week. But I guess they're now happy to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. The only issue I have with mine, I don't know if you can look down the barrel of it. It's crooked. See how it's a little bit crooked on the tail there?
Does it care at all?
It doesn't care. I tell it. I can't. Sometimes I'll be like this and try to fix it before I go flying, but it's all.
Do me a favor and pop open the hood. Let's see what you got rolling under there.
You can't see anything, man. It's nothing. It's just like yours. Let's see.
Dark.
Okay, so stuff back in there is a rat's nest of wires.
And your battery lives back there?
The battery, I just shove it in there and it doesn't move it. Yeah, and then Jim, here's what I actually wanted you to do. You were talking about is put a little servo arm on there.
Oh yeah, you showed me that. No one can see that because it's black, but it's a servo arm with a screw. Yeah,
how about that? Yeah, so super easy. All it is I pushed a really long screw in there, and then I put a dab of foam tack on the end of the screw and pushed it all the way in. So the bottom of the screw is glued in, but yet the little guy here can spin. That's all you need, man. That's perfect for this plane.
That's awesome. I like the black. The black's awesome.
Yeah, that's a ready-made RC special. So it's this whole plane is ready-made RC, like everything on it, and I'm
Let me
digging
ask
it.
you, I have my my on-screen display that I used on my Sky Surfer 1500.
Mm-hmm.
You think that this plane is too little to add? I mean, you put a micro Vector on there. I bet I could get my OSD in that
Well,
cockpit.
here's the
somewhere.
thing: you want this plane to be a little bit heavier because it'll handle better. And I mean, like, you're not really gonna. It's not gonna make a bit of difference, honestly, putting that in there.
Then I'm going to strip it out and put on-screen display on a micro vector. It'd be awesome.
It can take a lot of weight. So.
All right. So,
Yeah.
well, that didn't feel good. One other thing. I am flying that on the new DX6E because it is a FPV based transmitter, $149 out the door. It can also be a wireless buddy box to any Spectrum radio. So that paired up, I expect it to rock. But I have some pretty interesting things to show you, Chris Hos. Not that you care.
Oh, he may.
Well, he doesn't fly these goggles, but many of us at RC Groups are still in love with the head plate unit, right?
Mhm.
Well, I'm very limited on what goggles I can use, unless they have diopters or the ability.
Because he's, ladies and gentlemen, blind as a bat.
Well, actually, I have 20/25 vision,
That's right.
but my up close vision is no good. So I don't know if you can see it, but look what I got.
Ooh, you got glasses for your goggles.
So RHO lenses, which I found them on the internet when they first came out. I wrote the guy, and he's in Germany, and I said I must have these, and they adhered. They were in this unit. They adhered.
Look, I've got them, Jim.
Yeah.
Look, here they are. This is the one. This is the originals. Yeah, these are the originals. Let's see.
It would be a.
Oh gosh, I can't even put them together. So you sent me these, Jim, and anyway, here they are. This is, I don't need them because here, hold on. I can make this work. There we go.
Yeah, make your eyes really big.
All right, so they said there would be Mai Tais. I want Mai Tais with my. So anyway, this needs to be the header image for this. Anyway, okay.
That's good.
Continue on, please.
So those things went in with a friction fit, or they could go in. I put double stick tape ultimately to keep mine in. Am I presenting? Do you see me?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So then he wrote me and he said, Jim, we've had such a huge success after the story on RC Groups that we're developing a new set of lenses. So
that's what I like to hear.
Yeah. He funded this, and I guess you can buy them right now. I was on the site yesterday. This is a hard piece with two lenses, and you pull the two pieces apart, put them back together. Hold on. And my thing was, I was knocking my lenses out. I'd pull it back on my head, and my lenses would pop out, and then I would have to put them back in. And
what would you say when the lens popped out?
Consarn it!
No, dag nabbit!
Snag farley flocky. So. I put these in the other day, and they're awesome. By the way, when I was testing my airplane's camera, I put them on, and I'm like, I verbally made a noise like, wow, These are awesome. So when I fly that unit, I will be flying through the headset.
Nice.
Awesome. I don't even know how much they cost. I'll have to go look that up.
It doesn't matter. It's the cost for seeing well is the cost is moot, I would say.
If you need to see, you need to see.
Yeah. So what are you flying, man, as far as goggles go, Chris?
Well, I initially started actually with the Eachine 007s. I flew that for and then started kind of having some issues with them and went, okay, I want smaller goggles. Really, I've used the head plays. I like them, but they're just too big to throw in a pack and really be mobile. So I also didn't like the feel of the small screen of the Dominator V3s. So I went with the HD V2s. I absolutely love them, especially just paired with the 1177 camera or any 4x3 camera.
No 16x9, huh?
Well, I actually picked one up. I haven't gotten a chance to play with it yet. But the 16x9s, when I actually was using my buddy's Dominator V3s recently, is actually very, very impressive for how that image looks. So, I mean, to be honest, if you pair Dominator V3, you've got a very, very crisp, solid image. It's just a little smaller, in my opinion.
Yeah, and then your transmitter of choice has got to be Futaba, right?
Well, yep. Still running the Futaba 14 SG. Running the RS-60-303SB receiver in the quads. So it's a little micro 4-channel S-bus receiver.
Yeah.
And there is actually Futaba does have a new FPV receiver coming out soon, so that'll
What
be on the
the
market.
what? Really?
Hopefully, yeah, it should be out soon.
Okay, now we're talking. News story. All right, that's good news. I haven't seen anything out of Futaba's camp like that in a long time.
Yeah, they
so.
tend to be more to
so-
your iPhone type of FPV guys.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's about the only thing I can say for now.
So are you still riding with Futaba on a sponsorship?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Honestly, Futaba has the best RF link on the market right now.
Here. I agree. I have a 14SG. I love it.
I personally think that you can't get a better RF link than with Futaba. The one thing we're currently lacking right now is really a lower end cost radio that has the really high quality feel. You get up into the $400 or $500 range before you get the really kind of solid feel of a radio. My friend Mike is running the 6K right now.
Mhm.
I haven't had a single issue with it, but when I fly it compared to my 14SG, I can feel that the gimbals aren't quite as nice.
Yeah, you started getting a little bit. It's like first world problems for us, man. It's just like
not like nitpick on a very good radio, but for what I want, I'd like the higher quality gimbals.
The flip side to that is DX9s, and we were in the offices at Horizon, and they obviously they wanted us to tell them what we thought we needed in an FPV transmitter, and I think they've really laid down on that. And you're starting to see DX all over the place these days.
Yeah, I mean that's Spectrum and Tyrannus are really the two big players right now. Can't deny that. There are not many guys flying Futaba, and hopefully in the coming year we can break into the market a little bit more with some good radios and some good receivers, and just bring the quality RF link that Futaba has into the FPV world.
Well, I hope that you are working hand in hand with them, because I can think of no better person to do that. So if you're just tuning in, that's some great news, man. Futaba's going to be jumping headfirst into the FPV realm and competing with the Free Sky and the Spectrum guys that already have a solid foothold. So that's good to know that Futaba's jumping in. I'm excited.
Yep. Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to share this.
Shared. Go ahead.
Honey. Okay, I'm gonna click right there. So here is the reason I didn't know what it costs is because it's on the Indiegogo page. So here's the actual unit itself, a little more of a close up of what we're looking at. And so help me out here, Mecca.
Yeah.
40 USD plus shipping, RHO lens, H Pro, final product lens with high-tech lenses.
Estimated October 16th, so they've already shipped out. Or
I think that's what I have in my hands, and I can't imagine these lenses being any crisper for my eyes. But check this out: $79 prescription.
Okay, so you can get them tuned to your prescription, different on each eye if you need to.
That's pretty interesting.
We calculate the exact price and then ship your customized lenses to your address via Brown Santa, aka UPS man.
So I order all my glasses online now. And so I actually have my prescription because I do my own prescription ordering off the internet instead of spending $600 for glasses. So that's an interesting option right there. Mm-hmm. So here's what we were showing before. That's what it used to be. And then this is the backside of those lenses.
That is really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, we'll jump out. This guy's been, I got to say, there are companies you never know who runs it or and they never reply to you. This guy is like, Jim, what do you think? What do you need? What would you change? How could this be better? And the thing about the lenses were that they would let dust in and people didn't want their screens to get dirty. And this is a way to stop that and really lock them in. So.
Well, they look nice, and I'm glad they stepped forward and started making it work.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also have a podcast to talk about. Let me find it. Oh, that's not it. Okay, maybe we should talk about that after I find it again. I was listening to it right. Oh, here it is. It's the Park Flyer Podcast. You can find it at parkflyerpodcast.com. And this guy is I'll share because I'm like that. I'm a sharer.
Sharing is caring.
Well, it is the time of the year to share and present to everyone. So this is the Park Flyer Podcast. These guys are actually RCGroups members. They're real flight pilots. And I was contacted by them and they said, hey, you should listen to our podcast. And I did. And it's really good. So you can check that out at parkflyerpodcast.com. And they talk about new.
He's like, yeah, see? How about flying my airplane, see?
By the wind and the hair, you can see that I take to the air on a constant basis. It's what I do. It's where I'm at. It's what's in my head, Fred.
Loose lips sink ships.
The car in the background's really blowing the time frame for the air of dialect and accent that we're giving here. Hey, right. What kind of car is that back there? No, that's an old car. That's an old car. See, under his hand, under the wheels there.
Oh, I didn't even see that. Man, you got good eyes.
Oh, well, now that we've got that and, cleared up. Yeah, that's a European car.
Yeah,
we're really deviating now. All right, back to Chris Hos.
Yeah, what you got, dude? You got some motors that you just picked up today?
Yeah. Lucky me. I live 20 minutes away from Michigan's only drone store, XLRC. And they just got in these Brother Hobbies R4 2206 2400 kV motors. So planning on running these bad boys, and look at the pretty colors.
It's almost like the two-tone paint flop colors. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So what's the specialty on those? What differentiates those beautiful pieces of equipment from the next guy?
Really, what's gotten me so hooked on these motors is earlier this year, Davis Deng at Brother Hobby got in touch with me and sent me a set of the T1 Tornado 2205 2300 motors, and they're still running to this day, and they have been through everything.
Oh yeah.
The top fins are slightly bent. There's chunks of little motor missing here and there, but the bearings are rough, but the quad was still flying good the last time I flew it with those motors on it. So I'm sticking with Brother Hobby for a while now on the durability and reliability factor, at least from my experiences. I also have used a set of the ZMX V3s and also having great success with those as well.
Nice, very nice. So what about the hacker up there behind you, that little wing? What are you doing with that thing?
Oh, that's actually an old build using, let's see, do you know Ryan Archer?
Yeah.
That's using a little build layout from him. Let me see if I can get that down because I'm short.
While he's doing that,
we just want to see you jump, dude.
Let's meet my cat.
All right, let's go on. Hold on real quick. Let's present to everybody. That cat puts up with a lot of, look at it. It's all wet on the back from the dog licking it.
So this is Jack Black. I found him on the side of the driveway. I thought he was a dead skunk. And then he mewed at me, weighed 5 pounds. And I took $1,000 to bring him back to life.
Why is it whenever people hold cats and their little arms go out, it's just like...
Look at the massiveness of this cat, man.
Dude, when it lays down, it probably looks like a manhole cover.
He's so black that sometimes I think I'll talk to my wife's purse and think that it's the cat and realize the cat's not even in the room.
So you got cat number 1, you got cat number 2 with Chris over there, and I'm just happy to be alive.
Well, we did the dog segment last time. So.
Oh my God.
So this is like a mini Swift, basically kind of your same general concept. Yeah. But as you can tell, this is where they say to put the servos. That's where you put the servos.
Yeah.
Right there.
How do you land that thing without tearing your servo horns?
You catch it.
Oh, every time.
And it does have
There you go. So you put, oh, I see. It's got the little protectors. So you put the
did.
servos way up in the nose like that, and then what is it? Is it just helping your CG and without putting any lead in it?
It's really just moving that CG forward. And as you can see, I mean, this has only got a Hacker A05 on it,
Mm-hmm.
and I've shaved about as much foam off of that as I really want to. And it's really just about building this thing as light as possible with the CG as far forward as possible. And it flies amazing.
Yeah, until you try to FPV it, and then it's so
I will.
bumpy and so crazy. I'm like, oh.
I plan on FPVing it, and I got to pick up another like little tiny camera like that.
Well, you need to do it in a vacuum or inside, because those things. I had one and it was so bumpy I couldn't do it.
This is the next size up. And I really want to get a little cheap gyro on this thing just to smooth it out. But so this is my underside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I did put these things on here for landing.
Who'd you steal those from, Jason Cole?
I guess I did. Or they were in the pile.
Yeah. Nice.
I've given away so much stuff that I wish I had for FPV. And then I just run this silly little camera, which is handmade and probably one of the best cameras I have. But it just Velcros onto my battery.
Yeah, easy breakaway if and when you dork it into Mother Earth.
How do you find that when it breaks away in the field?
You know,
maybe you should tether it.
I've hit soccer goals and all kinds of stuff with this thing, and I've never really lost the cam. And so
I've ejected so many batteries this year. Like, I think I have littered at least 2 or 3 abandoned sites with 1 or 2 batteries.
They should call the EPA on you, dude.
Well, I worry about lawnmowers, so I'll actually go out after 5, go back and walk. Pure Tech has the best Velcro straps on the market just for this problem.
Well, yeah, if I'm in a grassy field, yeah, I'm gonna go look for it. But if I launch it into the trash-infested Detroit abandoned building, I'm not going and searching for that. Sorry.
It's a write-off, huh?
Yeah, I don't want what's over there. That's not. There's some places that are really clean though, but others that are.
Hold on, let's see if we can see my cat or if he blends into the couch. Look, you can't even see there's a cat there. He's right there.
Oh, I see the tag. He's right there.
Yeah, but there's nothing else you can see.
No.
Is that the first time I think I've ever seen this cat?
Yeah, it is. He's been hanging out in here a lot lately. You know, he almost died. For a week we thought he was going to die, and so we were being real nice to him, and then we realized he licked the flea medicine off the back of my other dog
and he got sick. I thought you were going to say he like ate a 1-cell lipo.
No, he licks the dogs at night, and we realized, and then he came back to life. So now he's like, "Hi, Jim, I'm in your office. How are you
I'll
doing?"
never have fleas.
Yeah, but
he's got his
he knows he almost died, and he really is acting in a whole different manner towards all of us. Like, it's so good to see you.
That's funny, dude.
Wow, death was pretty crappy. I don't like that.
Yeah, that near-death experience I had. Yeah.
The wife said when we were talking about your cat, she said he was at the locked door going, meow, meow, meow. Oh, she said when I was meowing, he was at the door meowing. Meow? Are you hungry? Hey, Mecca has some big news. Mecca, and tell everyone your big news.
What is my big news?
You're pregnant. No, about the contest.
Oh yeah, the one we just wrapped up, you mean?
Yeah, I bet Chris has even probably entered it.
We just wrapped up the Grobner Hornet 250 tricopter contest, and man, we had like 600 plus entries,
16,000 views.
Yeah, so it's 600 posts, and each person probably did 3 to 5 entries. You can do 5 total, so that's a lot of names that I had to pour through and try to and look and find the winner. So we ended up going with a really cool name, and I'm going to it right now. Here we are. Our winner was Mudman 1959, RCGroups member, and it was Avispa, which is Spanish for wasp, and I thought that was very unique and kind of classy. Now there was some interesting, like Hornet McBuzzface, and you know, like I would
look
just
at
call
that.
it.
Look where they get this thing. No wonder.
So, Chris, I want you to bang this thing around, man. I mean, if I had one for you, but you ever done the tricopters yet?
Yeah, actually, the funny thing is I actually started I had a quad, and then I instantly also jumped into tricopters because I just kind of thought they were cool.
They are.
They had a different characteristic. I played with a 3D printed one that I found on RCGroups a while back.
We both printed the same one. We both printed something similar, I think.
Yeah, it's and I had it at eFest a few years ago, and I mean it was fun. I had a lot of fun with it, but you know the 3D printed wasn't that durable, and then the whole mechanism with the tail also wasn't that durable.
Yep.
And
well, Grobner's
basically
got it. I think Grobner's got this one down to a science. It's got the LED eyeballs on it. It's pretty flickable and light. And then Nikolai Zinsely, he reviewed it, and man, it had some really good punch out. I think because of the power to weight of it, you're only dealing with 3 motors, but you're losing a little bit of weight without that extra motor and ESC on there. So
the only thing, I mean, at least from all the experience that I've had flying at some of these abandoned buildings and everything, and with a lot of the backward style flying, I just feel like a servo you're going to start running into some of the similar issues you did with like some of the smaller helis.
Yeah. The mechanical never trumps the.
Yeah, so that's about the only down. That's like why I switched away from it, is just because I was like, this mechanical aspect is something that's just now more difficult to fix in the field.
Look at that thing. I am your father.
But it's really cool. I mean, it's probably a really fun little machine to fly. What kind of?
Am the Hornet. I will fight you.
They sting, dude. Yeah. Look at Nikolai Zinsely.
Where my stinger?
So I like to just hold this thing. I wave it around quite a bit. I go to the mall and I like to grab it by both sides. And wow, look at that!
I like to spin it, twist it.
I broke it.
Oh God, you guys are killing me.
His name is Joey, and he's my best friend. I love him.
Joe.
Mean Joe the Hornet.
Mean Joe.
Look how durable it is. It is kind of twisty, that thing.
I bet if Chris slammed it into a concrete caisson, it would probably go bye-bye. But it's to be expected. You fly like a maniac.
Let's look at it in the air, shall we?
Yeah.
This is a new technique.
Yeah. I wanted him to set some gates up. I don't think Nikolai has any gates yet. We need to get him something so he can start doing that.
Actually, I just picked up some of these the pop-up soccer nets off of Amazon, and cut out the net, and boom, it was like $60-$70 for 2 gates.
See, that's called making the best of your situation, and I don't mean the situation meaning the other gate. The other gates are just kind of overpriced. It's easier to use stuff and adapt it to FPV.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do have some of the Premier RC gates, and I absolutely love them. They're great up at a course, but here in Michigan and in Ohio, it's already snowing and raining and all McNasties outside.
Yeah, and it takes forever to set those gates up. Those things go quick.
Yeah, it takes forever to set them up. I have to build little I'm still going to, because I'm insane. But I still got to build little, stands so they can sit indoors in the dome and not get staked into the ground. Whereas those, when I went out there, I just went, okay, boom, I got gates.
Done.
Got a power looping section. Here we go.
Well, Manny, if you're listening, great job. I kind of want this thing now.
It looks really cool.
I do want it.
Yeah.
But some Mud and Honey want it, so. Mud Man.
Mud and Honey. What you eating? Nut and honey.
Mud and Honey.
Mud and Honey. What you doing? I'm doing Mud and Honey.
Yeah. You look mighty cute in them jeans.
Sorry,
Some folks calls it a slings blade. You've been mighty good to me, I reckon.
French fried potatoes.
I've been thinking on this a long time.
Where you going, city boy?
I was gonna kill you, but if all you're gonna do is fly that quad, I guess there's no reason to.
Oh, and we're hemorrhaging viewers.
Oh, dang! No, we're not.
I'm just kidding.
Let me turn this video.
I watched somebody instantly disconnect.
The funny thing is, as you say that, when we were at that Bando Land out here in Michigan, the big hotel that I crashed into that we're standing in, security came up and found us and was like, "Hey, is there more of you in that building?" One of my friends was like, "Oh, yeah." Well, get out of there. They just condemned that to collapse at any time. So that's completely unsafe for you. Like,
Thanks.
and he's like, "But you can stay and fly any other building here. Just don't be in that one."
Oh, that's a cool security guard. Usually
Like,
they just hate
so
you.
he was like, we're like, "Oh, okay, well, thank you. Thanks."
Yeah. So have you had any bad run-ins yet with Johnny Law or Johnny Rent-A-Cop? No.
No, I mean, it's all about just being nice. If you run, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
And-
Nobody runs anymore. Maybe we
Yeah.
ran when we were 16, but
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not going to comment.
I've seen a few people start booking it. I'm like, guys, stop it.
I know.
And then for the most part, security's usually like, "Hey, you can't fly here, leave." And we're like, "Okay, thanks, bye." And that's it. One time, this is actually my favorite. My buddy and I are flying in this open field, off the side of a pretty major road. And about 2 packs in, all of a sudden we hear shouting coming from the woods, and this guy emerges from the woods screaming at us that he can hear our little 210 quads over a mile away over all of this road noise.
Damn.
Well,
Did you dive bomb him?
we ignored him and kind of basically just were, "Go away. You don't know what you're talking about. Just stop."
I don't suggest anyone dive bomb upset.
Yeah,
pedestrian.
exactly. Please don't.
No, don't do that.
Now the funny thing is he calls the cops as my buddy Mike and I are checking out another spot. The cops, the police officer pulls over and is like, "Hey, so I think you're probably the guys that we got this phone call about."
Yeah.
And he clearly just was instantly like, "You guys are not in trouble." This guy was completely out of his mind because apparently he called in and said we were landing airplanes in this field and all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow.
So for the most part, your John Q public that doesn't know anything is going to blow it way out of
Oh
proportion.
yeah, man.
And if you just wait for the police to show up and explain it and show it and really just be like, "Hey, you want to go for a ride? You want to see it fly?" All of that. They're like, "Oh, is that what you're doing? Cool. Go on your merry way. Have a good day."
Yep.
I'm
Gotta be-
still amazed at the huge disconnect between people that don't know anything about the hobby that they get so upset. I was flying an original Skywalker FPV plane at a field in Atlanta next to a highway, like you were saying. And next thing you know, I hear these sirens, and then I see a fire engine pull up, 3 police officers, 2 ambulances, another fire engine, and then a black helicopter flew over.
Holy
That was
cow.
the sheriff's department. And I instantly landed, and they were out on the road around the field where I was, and they were driving back and forth, all their lights, this whole entourage of police officers and fire, rescue, the hook and ladder, everything was there. So I packed up and I drove, and I was about to leave, and then I said, "Wait a minute, what am I doing?" So I stopped, got out, and walked up to flag them down. They were down the street coming back and forth, and I said, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they're like, "Oh man, someone just called in and said an airplane crashed." And I said, "Are you kidding me? I'm flying a model airplane." And they're like, "Cease and desist, everybody back down." And they're like, and the it was funny because the police and the EMTs all came over and took pictures with me. And they had I was holding my airplane. They were all taking pictures, and the firemen were all pissed off because they had to leave their firehouse. They were all some of them, they were probably either cooking dinner or playing Xbox. And now they got to go. And I mean, so an RC airplane scattered the entire, it was almost like a
wow
3-alarm response, man.
I bet
And a black helicopter, a real helicopter.
That's like $10,000, maybe 30.
Oh,
Yeah,
easy.
I've
I would
never
say
done
probably
anything
30.
like that. I mean, bravo, Matt. That's top.
That was like
I
in
had
2011 or
police officers
12.
roll up on me flying at night in a park with some friends. We've had police roll up thinking the exact same thing because they saw I went up real high with the 35%er with the smoke on, and then down below the trees with the smoke going, and people are like, "Oh, an airplane crashed!" And police and EMTs come out, and it's really funny when the police and EMTs come out. Sirens are going as I'm doing a rolling Harrier with a 35%.
You're like,
all of them like roll up and just stop and are like, what am I seeing?
Hey guys, I just got some breaking news, RC related, that is kind of bad.
I think this is probably what Oren was talking about. What is it?
It's notable in the hobby who's no longer in the position he was in that relates to you, Chris Hos.
Talk to us.
Should I discuss this live? Maybe I should wait until I get verification.
I'm not going to say anything at this point.
Say it, Jim.
I'm like all aflutter. I can't believe it.
Just say it, Jim.
What is?
I don't know, man. I don't know if I should. I might wait.
Dude.
I heard. I got a peep on a text yesterday. I thought it was health related. I wrote back this morning. I know I'm really laying it out here, but I wrote back this morning to the person that texted me, and I said, "Hey, I never got confirmation on what you were talking about, and now I've got the email." And
I know who I don't know who it is, but I know who it is.
Okay, I tell you what, guys. I know you're live and all that stuff. The very last thing I want to do is say something on here that isn't correct. So I'm gonna hold my info for now and check on it.
Okay.
Sorry that I'm doing this to everyone. I can't believe I just read it. It just came in.
All right. Well, we hit our 4 o'clock. We just talked for an hour.
If that's the case, if anyone out there knows what I'm talking about, and that is the case, I am 100% blown away that has occurred.
All right, dude. Let's just talk about it next time.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. One thing I want to talk about.
You don't
want to go there. Not yet, anyway.
Yeah, not right now. No.
We'll verify. We'll be back with you. Feel free to PM me if you want. Hey, let's go there. If you have something you want us to talk about, someone that you want on the podcast that you think would be interesting, shoot us a PM on RCGroups, Flying Giants, whatever, and we will do our very best to get them on here, much like the lovely Chris Hos.
And they have to be more interesting than Chris Hos, so that might be difficult.
But not as good looking. They don't have to be as good looking as Chris. But okay. We're just talking here. So anyway,
I agree.
Shoot a PM. Tell us what you want. If there's a question that you want to have answered, I'm sure between the three of us, if Jason Cole isn't getting a haircut, one of us can answer your question. And I have a tip, Matt Gunn. I just want to share. Let me get this on the camera. You ever use Ballistol, the lubricant, for tools, cleaning, weapons, things like that?
Nope. I use the other stuff.
In the winter, my hands get dry, and I read that this stuff was used for all kinds of ailments. So I've been spraying it on my hands. So if I come up like out of my mind running through a field because of blood poisoning, you'll be the guy that knows it was Ballistol.
Look at the bottom. It says skin safe, no carcinogens. That's interesting.
And the other thing it says right here, guaranteed. So if something does happen to me, I got a guarantee.
What kind of guarantee? Like a life insurance guarantee or a money back guarantee?
I'm going to get my $4. It's a money back guarantee.
You're like, my hands fell off. Well, here's another can of Ballistol.
Just a quick tip. No one use it. Just watch me. I'll be the guinea pig. We'll see how this works out.
That's good stuff.
Well, Chris, man,
it's hard to tell how much crazier you are.
Say what?
How much crazier you are than you already are, man.
Yeah, it'd be hard to differentiate is what you're saying.
Yeah, can't work.
At least you didn't know me 15, 16 years ago, because the Billy Hell moniker surely fit the bill. I've calmed down quite a bit.
Yeah, I can't remember those times. I was a little young back then.
That's what a kid will do to you, Jim.
I once went to Toledo, and my booth was a bar, and the beer taps were the names of my airplanes. I had bull horns, bull whips, rifles, and then at the end of somebody walked by at Toledo and said, "You can't have a booth like this at Toledo." And so I didn't know what that meant until the guy that runs the show, the hour that I was about to close it out, he walks up and he stops. He looks at my Toledo booth, the Billy Hell booth, and he goes, "You can't have a booth like this in Toledo." I said, "Okay, well, I'm leaving now." So
it just goes to show you that he didn't get out on the floor or even look at who is in his booths.
yes, I have pictures. It was awesome. I built the whole thing in my backyard, broke it down, and shipped
Show
it.
me the pictures, please. I got to see this.
Oh God, that's gonna be great.
Well, Chris, where are you going to be next? So all of the people that are watching this podcast can shake your hand.
The next major event I'm gonna be at is the multi-GP race down in Sebring, Florida, January 25th through the 28th.
That sounds
That
warm.
guy, Chris Thomas, he's an all right guy.
So, yeah, say hey to Chris for us. Tell him that we were talking about him.
Ask him to tell you the story about him paragliding near when the shuttle took off. Just wait. Let him tell you that story. That's a good one. All right.
Oh God.
All right. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Sweet.
Well, I'm going to research this breaking story that has me verklempt. Matt Gunn, I don't know what the heck you're going to do, but have a great day.
I'm going to just stay online and talk to you guys.
Jason
I don't
Cole.
know what I'm going to do. Jason Cole with
Enjoy
a
Disney.
beard. Jason Cole with beard. And
I think
different
Jason Cole should grow a beard this month. I'm going to really lean on him.
Can he?
I don't know. It's a good
He
question.
definitely can. I've seen him with a 5 o'clock.
No, you haven't. I've never seen that. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen a couple of Jason Coles with a 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, everyone, you've been listening and watching the RC Groups podcast livecast with our special guest, Chris Hos, all the way from Jamaica. Chris,
I wish.
Michigan, and Mr. Maticus Gunnicus, who's in the in the 30s and 20s there now for you.
Yeah, it's in the 30s. It's been sleeting. Whatever's happening here is happening worse for Chris. So
Low,
Michigan's better again because it's warmer here.
it was warm. It was in the upper 50s yesterday. Now it's sleeting. I can't do anything. I can't fly. I have so much to fly, so much to do.
I may go out
I'm
today.
stuck in this basement. So
And it's 33 with a high of 57 here in Nashville today.
enjoy it. Enjoy it.
All right, y'all. Well, thanks, everyone. We have more viewers now than we did before. Thanks for all our live viewers. Thanks to Chris. Thanks to Matt. Thanks to RC Groups. Come see us. Do we have any more contests rolling? Don't we have one contest?
Yeah, we got something. We got our contest on Flying Giants right now. That is outfit what is it?
Peak model.
Yeah, it's the Peak model. Something X.
This is not a cheap airplane.
Laser X.
Thank you. I should know that because I made the friggin' contest. There's a lot of stuff going on.
But go to Flying Giants on the main page. You can enter that.
Yeah. And we'll be picking a winner pretty soon. We may have another contest coming up soon on RC Groups. Jim and I have sort of talked about that one behind the scenes, but don't worry, something will come up soon. And if you are one of our many site supporters that are listening right now, and you have an interesting contest idea, Jim and I, you can pitch it to us, and we'd love to hear it.
And the lovely Miss Ashley was just talking to me a little bit ago, and I'm working on sending her to an RC shop. She usually goes to events, but it's cold. So I had an idea. I'm waiting for Red Wing RC, paging Red Wing RC to email me back so I can tell them the amazing idea I've had.
Mm-hmm. That's a great idea. I think your cat's hacking up a hairball. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen.
RC Groups podcast. Oh, trigger! Me, Joe Vermillion. Before we jump out of here, I want to say hey to all the guys that I flew with at the field yesterday. Russell Carrington and I were doing some hardcore 3D. Urs Wissinger and I were talking about prop sizes. I also hung out with the always awesome Hornet in Z. He's got a weird accent. I never know what he's talking about. Andrew Hodgkinson and I left the field and went and ate some McDonald's. And finally, Rebo Rotors and I tore up some FPV racing. I kicked his buttocks, but maybe next time he'll win. And with that, it's been the RC Groups livecast. I'm Jim T. Graham, your host. Thanks for viewing. And here we go. Wow.
Hot trigger!
Too high energy? I don't know.